What's going on, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also hit that bell notification button so you'll be alerted whenever I drop new content. Well, you're supposed to be alerted. You're supposed to be alerted whenever I drop new content, but there's always YouTube issues. A lot of people tell me all the time that they weren't reminded that my video was coming up, but it is what it is, all right? Also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BoxingWave10. All right, this weekend, good fights this weekend. All right, I already did the breakdown for Tank Davis against Mario Barrios yesterday. I released that yesterday. That's going to be on Showtime pay-per-view tomorrow night, Saturday evening, okay? And this fight will be on ESPN, top-ranking ESPN tomorrow. It is not a pay-per-view. So if you're looking to save money, I think both fights are equally. I'm not going to go back and forth with which fight is better. I think both fights are equally good. I like both, but one of them is a pay-per-view. This fight here with Lomachenko and Nakatani is not. Another thing is I should be doing commentary on the fight. I'm just not sure if I'm going to be doing commentary for the entire card like I normally do. So I might just check in, maybe a fight or two before this fight, all right? But I will definitely be here watching the fight. Hopefully, both fights don't overlap each other. Sometimes we have issues with that. I'm not really sure which fight I'm going to make the priority because I really want to see. Both fights are really intriguing. And I had actually put up a poll last night on which fight you guys think is more, or which fighter has more of a chance of pulling off the upset against their opponent. You have Mario Barrios against Tank. Is he more likely to do it, or is Nakatani more likely to do it? And for the most part, it's pretty 50-50 out of all of the votes the last time I checked. In fact, let me check that real quick since we're on here talking about it. Let me check that out. Give me 2 seconds. All right. If you haven't voted yet, I think when I fell asleep last night, it was like closing in on 400 votes. Okay. So it was 50-50 for a while. It's 768 votes right now. And more people think that Mario Barrios, 56% of people think Mario Barrios is more likely to pull off the upset against Tank than the other 44% that picked Masayoshi Nakatani. All right, now look, this is not going to be a long breakdown. It's not going to be a long, dramatic breakdown because the way I see it, Nakatani, let's be real, outside of Verdejo, and Teofimo Lopez, which are two excellent opponents. All right, there's not really much there for me to find. I was looking for him fighting like a southpaw fighter. It's really not much there. It's not much there on YouTube. Okay, I'd never seen him or heard of him before the Teofimo Lopez fight, which he gave Teofimo Lopez a lot of problems. And he could have won that fight. I don't think Lopez lost the fight, but he definitely struggled in that fight, all right? And then we saw Nakatani knock out Phyllis Verdejo. Now, before we get into what each fighter needs to do, Lomachenko is coming off shoulder surgery. Again, this is not the first time, all right? He had surgery, I believe, in the same shoulder after the Jorge Linares fight, going into the Pedraza fight. Now, what I remember about the Pedraza fight, I didn't go back and watch or anything, but I remember Lomachenko started kind of slow. And it's not the first time we see him start slow, but it took him a while to get things going. All right? He was able to drop Pedraza late, but didn't finish him off. All right? So we have to put that into consideration here. Hopefully his shoulder is good, but we have to put that out there. I believe he's like 32, 33 years old. And he's coming off of the loss against Teofimo Lopez. So we have shoulder surgery, him coming off of a loss. These are things that you have to factor in. Now, he's not coming off of a dominated loss. He didn't get knocked out. He didn't get hurt. All right, so it's not like one of those devastating losses where you don't know if the fight is going to be the same again. All right, he was outscored by Teofimo Lopez, mainly because he gave too many rounds away. Similar to Orlando Salido, I know a lot of people like to bring up the cheating that Salido did. Same thing with Jeff Horn and Manny Pacquiao. A lot of people like to bring that thing up. And look, yeah, there was some dirty tactics going in there with Salido. Plus, Salido came in as a welterweight that night. All right, he missed weight. He didn't care about losing the title. He cared about winning, and do whatever he had to do to win. Lomachenko took a very, very, very long time to get things going. Plus, he had to deal with Salido, the body attack, the low blows, yada, yada, yada. All right. So, with that being said, Lomachenko needs to come out and be very aggressive. You know how he looked against Gary Russell Jr. coming off of that loss against Salido after giving so many rounds up? You know how he came back and he was extremely aggressive against Gary Russell Jr.? That's what he needs to be. Okay, in this fight, this is not an easy one. This is not an easy fight. I mean, coming off a loss, this is not the fight. This is not like the tune-up fight when you're just trying to shake things off. This is a real fight here. This is a guy that can knock you out, that has crazy conditioning, great chin. This is a guy that's proven that he's an elite fighter at 135. All right? Honestly believe that this fight potentially could be harder than the Luke Campbell fight, maybe even be harder than the Jorge Linares fight. Nakatani is, as far as what I've seen in his two best fights, is no one to mess around with. All right? This guy went 12 rounds with Teofimo Lopez without getting dropped or really badly hurt at all. Okay? We saw what happened with Comey was in there with Teofimo Lopez. All right? We see what happened there. We see what happened in the Lomachenko fight. Nakatani gave Lopez hell. We saw what happened with Verdejo. Verdejo, great game plan, great power. He kept executing the same punch. But even dropping him twice, all right, looks like he was destroying Nakatani early. Still lost the fight. Still got knocked out. Okay, so this guy is not anyone to play around with. Lomachenko, you might want to give him a round to feel things out, but he needs to be on the attack here. And another thing too here, talking about Nakatani's chin, this is the fight. And Lomachenko is a great body puncher. This is the fight that he needs to beat at, because this guy has a hell of a chin. You're not going to knock him out, all right? You might buzz him here and there, but you have to attack this body. And we haven't seen enough of that from Tio or Verdejo in their fights. We didn't get enough of it. You got to slow this guy. This guy got great endurance. You got to slow him down. You got to go to the body. And that is something that Lomachenko is great at doing, going to the body, all right? How many people has he dropped and stopped? Linares stopped him by going to the body. A fight that was very, very close. A fight where he was dropped. Okay, Linares. Luke Campbell hurt him to the body. Pedraza dropped him to the body. I can keep going and going and going. And, I don't know. I mean, I've seen all of his pro fights. Russell didn't drop him, but destroyed Gary Russell Jr.'s body. Destroyed his body. All right? He needs to be aggressive. He needs to be coming forward. And that's a key thing here. He needs to be coming forward at all times, as much as possible. Nakatani, the taller, longer, much taller. I was watching the face-off yesterday, and I tweeted this yesterday. I didn't realize how much of a height difference there is between Lomachenko and Nakatani. I didn't realize it until I saw that face-off, because everyone is talking about Tank and, him going up to 140 to watch Mario Barrios. And Barrios does tower over Tank, all right? It's good 5-inch, 4.5, 5-inch difference between those two, all right? But it's the same thing with Nakatani. The only thing is Nakatani officially fights at 135. He's just much taller. And he is a rangy fighter, has a good 1-2, works consistent jab, good jab, sets it up all fight long, all right? This is not a guy that he is consistent with. It's not much he does, all right? He does go to the body well a little bit too. But that 1-2 is his main thing. All night, that's what you're getting. You're going to get a jab in your face all night. And that is definitely something that Lomachenko will have a problem with if he can't close the gap. Nakatani is good at stepping in and out and working behind that jab. And that's the main thing that Lomachenko is going to have to figure out, which he can do. All right. We know Lomachenko is good at keeping his head off the line, slipping shots, using those angles. That's what he needs to do. But he needs to rip the body. Nakatani, on the other hand, needs to control that distance, use his height and reach advantage, use that jab all night long, keep Lomachenko away from him, okay? We're going to see how good his back foot game, because if Lomachenko's going to be coming forward, Nakatani at times is going to be fighting off the back foot. Didn't look too good against Verdejo, but once Verdejo slowed down, Nakatani started coming forward, and that's when he started getting the work done and eventually stopped them. All right. So Nakatani needs to control the range. Obviously, the same thing we know with the taller guys and stuff. Finding the shorter guys with the lower reach. The same thing. Not really that difficult to make this out. The thing is, Nakatani defense is kind of poor. His head is dead centered, right on the line all the time. Easy target. It was an easy target for Verdejo. It was an easy target for Teofimo Lopez and those short shots. But that's one of his issues. But Lomachenko is not a big puncher at 135. I honestly think that while he was at 135, even now at 130, 126, I think the best work he did, the best knockouts, outside of him stopping opponents because they just couldn't take it no more, the guys that he dropped was from the body shots, mainly for those body shots. The ones at least that I can remember off top. All right. Body work is what we need. And I think if he really puts onto the body, I think he can definitely stop Nakatani. All right. Again, use those angles, keep the pressure going, be the guy coming forward. All right. We can't get the Lomachenko that fought Teofimo Lopez. Took too many rounds off to get it going. We can't get that Lomachenko that fought Orlando Salido. Took too many rounds to get it going. We need to assertive, aggressive Lomachenko, and we need the same thing from Nakatani as well. All right, he already had a layoff going into the Verdejo fight, and I think that's part of the reason why he had so much trouble, because he went a long period. He went from the Teofimo Lopez fight all the way to Felix Verdejo. Didn't have a fight in between, and he fought a puncher who was fresh, and had a great game plan that was working. Now, the Verdejo fight wasn't that long ago. It was last year. Great win. He's fresh. He's back into it. So he needs to get on Lomachenko's. He needs to get on him quickly. Don't give Lomachenko time to think. You got to pressure Lomachenko. You have to put pressure on him, and you have to keep throwing punches no matter what. And I think that's part of the game plan, because even against Verdejo, even though he was losing, even though he was getting hurt, he never stopped throwing punches, and that's the way you got to do. If you watch basketball, like street shooters. There's street shooters out there like J.R. Smith, throwing a quick basketball reference out there. J.R. Smith, he might be 0 for 7, 3-point range, all right? But out of nowhere in the fourth quarter when the game is tight, J.R. Smith, this guy just keeps shooting threes. He gets a hot rhythm. Before you know it, he just hit 5 threes in a row. Same thing with Carmelo Anthony. Basketball reference, real quick. We're going to get out of here. But that's where you got to be. You got to be, throw the jab, keep that jab out there. You're going to get countered. You're going to get hit. Nakatani got to keep throwing. And I think, me personally, I got Lomachenko winning this one. I don't know if he's going to be able to stop Nakatani, but by decision or knockout, I have Lomachenko winning. I'm just not sure how he's going to do it, because Nakatani, really durable dude, and if Lomachenko can't get to the body like the way I'm saying he will, I can see him winning by decision. But I can see him closing the gap just fine, getting the work done, and beating Nakatani in this one. Not sleeping on Nakatani at all, because he definitely has a shot, especially because Lomachenko's coming off that surgery, coming off that loss. So, yes, he's going to come off. He's coming off his biggest win in his career. The confidence is there. The height is there. The size is there. So, yes, very confident. He could be one of Lomachenko's, even at the end of this fight, by the time it's over, he could possibly be one of Lomachenko's toughest fights. But I have Lomachenko winning this one. That is my prediction. I'm leaning a little bit towards the decision, but I could see a late stoppage in there by body shot for Lomachenko, all right? So I will be here to cover it. Make sure you subscribe again. Smash that like button for me, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.